Today I'm going to be taking part in something that I've felt drawn to do for a long time. It's an intuition / subconscious inner guidance tool. I think it's bad just to get to know how to use your intuition through one tool. And as you guys know, I am a tarot reader. That is one tool that I do use, but there's still other things out there. I don't want to put all my eggs in one little basket. But interestingly, all of those things, the one thing they have in common is meditation. I think to truly discover yourself spiritually, you need to master meditation first and foremost. It stops you from being your thoughts and taking those things along with you, which are not spiritual things. They're just downloaded information from stuff around us that doesn't even matter. And connecting to your intuition is a lot easier when you do things such as meditating. We can put ourselves in a place where we are reachable by that voice. It's our inner guide, and we often don't realize we're smothering it with useless junk that we carry around with us for no apparent reason. Think about intuitive eating. That has literally changed my life. I speak about that a lot on this channel. That has changed so much about my life. Not only my relationship with food, but my relationship with my body. It cut a lot of toxic behaviors out of my life. And then when it touches a part of my life, such as filming, talking to people, talking to the camera, presenting, there will be times where I'm filming a video. I've almost done it from like a dissociated, subconscious, intuitive mode. It changes the way I communicate and the ease I have. I'll finish filming and I'll say, that came out weirdly easily, very naturally, and I don't even know how I managed to say the couple of things I did. It just flowed. I kind of got inspired by the fact that I was sometimes able to do that, so then it went from accidentally doing that sometimes to purposely trying to find that part of me that wants to work with me for projects that I do or people that I talk to. And that's kind of why we're at where we are at today. I want to be able to connect to my intuition like I can turn off a light switch and turn it back on again. I kind of just want to be this tool to communicate stuff for not just myself but other people. I want to know the difference really easily from my intuition and my annoying thoughts that are just sitting in my head and collecting dust. There's a number of different tools I want to be able to access and use to download information from my higher self or higher guidance. I first heard about automatic writing years ago when I was a little girl. My mum was part of a psychic circle and they practiced automatic writing. I've taken part in when you are basically doing what you do in a Ouija board, but instead of having a planchette in the middle, you put your hand on a bit of wood that has a pen attached to it, and then people are just like kind of letting spirit draw pictures and things. I will show you a drawing that I did using that method, which is really neat actually. I keep this on my altar. It's a little drawing that a child drew during a seance that me and my family did. Bearing in mind, don't freak out if automatic writing isn't for you when it comes to spirit and the paranormal. I don't know what this experiment is gonna show and do. I'm just sort of open to connecting to either my subconscious or spirit. I'm not really sure, as long as I protect myself, obviously, because I think anyone can do this. I don't think you need to believe in spirit to be able to do this. I think you can just use this practice to hear your subconscious for once, if you're someone who wants to get a bit better at clearing your conscious mind. Because essentially what automatic writing is putting a pen to paper and writing words without actually consciously writing them. So your pen is on the paper and you're just letting your hand freely flow whatever words want to come out. You're not thinking about the next word that you write or the sentence that you're saying. I think it'll be a really cool way to communicate to people in the same way that I communicate tarot. Download chunks of information for the world to see, bits of info that I've taken from what I wouldn't be able to say myself as Ellie. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like I do when I read tarot. Sometimes I'm giving advice out and I'm like, whoa, that sounded good. Where did that come from? Like, thanks, Ellie. But really, it's just like the cards are like giving me messages and I'm just like throwing them back out. But this isn't just for other people. Even for myself, I have felt very scatterbrain and lost with some of the stuff that I'm trying to do at the moment because my work life is so chaotic. Like, I've got lots of things going on in different directions. Sometimes I need to be pulled or reined in a certain space, differentiating between like my thoughts, my anxieties, what my brain's just telling me I can and can't do, and then what my gut and my intuition is saying, you need to be over here doing this. Obviously, this isn't a practice I made up myself. There are hundreds of people that have done similar things to this. People draw under a trance state, people make art, some people speak words that they are thinking under like a state of trance.
Today I've got a special guest, a trance medium from the UK named Elaine Thorpe.
Trance is a blending of two beings, one spirit, one physical, that merge together and become one for that period of time they're in trance.
Hello to you, sir.
Hello, Jonathan. Welcome.
I know that you may wish to ask me a question. I will do that for you.
Thank you.
Of course, in our world, we are still learning.
For me, it's not about going under and losing control of who I am. If anything, I'm using this tool to get a better grip of who I am. This is more about connecting with myself, so I'm hoping that that is what I achieve with this experiment, because in today's video, I am going to be automatic writing for the first time in my life. One day, I want to be able to write stuff down that I don't even know the definition for. I'm aware this is a journey, this is a process, this isn't going to be something instant. It's natural to get excited about the concept of trying something new for the first time. When I first picked up my very first tarot deck, I was thinking that I was going to be getting crazy messages and it was going to be insane, and then you turn over those 4 cards and you're just looking at a bit of cardboard like, so what happens now? Am I supposed to see things? Do these cards project something onto the wall? Then you're like, oh wait, the work comes from me. Meditation, by the way, is what you make of it. For me, it doesn't always have to be sitting on my bum and going, while listening to meditation music. My favorite mode of meditation is sitting in the bath or sitting in a field or amongst some trees and watching the breeze, sitting in the back of a car. My God, that sends me places. Or it can be making a cup of tea and coffee. If I'm in the house, I'll put on some nice music that makes me want to dance. I'll make a cup of tea or coffee. I love steam. I love watching elements like fire, like water, the sun, feeling the sun on my face, feeling a glow, a warmness within. And that sets me into a place that I could sit and be forever. I'll tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes dancing like a tit is better meditation than closing your eyes and like hoping that your brain sits still for a little bit. When doing spiritual practices, you can even combine your protection with your meditation, such as for me, burning sage is both my way of protecting the area, cleansing the area, bringing in good vibrations, good energy, as well as calming me the hell down, because it's so peaceful and beautiful to watch. Like, I love burning sage and dancing in the smoke to music that makes me feel ready to feel the burst of the day and feel that flow of energy that I need to get me through the day. I have been doing a lot of practices enough to understand how to protect myself, by the way. So even though I'm using this to connect to my intuition and my gut, I am also open to spirit and my guides, my angels, to use my body essentially to write information down. So therefore, I also want to protect myself just in case. This is an experiment, so I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really excited. I'm finally in a moment that I've been wanting to try for a while and kind of naive. Like, I'm aware that I'll look back at this footage and be like, how cute was I then? You know, getting excited about sitting down doing this. knowing full well that probably this will take me a good few months until I start actually writing down anything that makes somewhat sense. It's still an important part of my process because it's how I get to hopefully where I'm going to be in a year's time, where I'm pro at this. So I'm excited to see if there's any kind of reason behind why I felt so compelled to start this journey. Do I write my intention first or after I meditate? Well, I'm here consciously with a question that I believe I have been drawn to ask with the specific intention of getting channeling through someone to write down. Someone or something, I don't even mind at this point, as long as it's from a good space, a good place. And who knows, I might just get one single word out of this experiment. I think that's a good solid question. I think that's a question a lot of people probably want to know. Which direction should I take my career? Also, I think that it doesn't bring ego into the occasion. Got a bit of brain fog today, I'm not gonna lie, and that's making me worry if this is gonna interfere with my experiment. I don't have any ego attached to this question, and I think that's an issue a lot of people get when it comes to writing any questions or saying any questions for spiritual guidance, particularly in tarot. I get a lot of questions from people who ask me, should I call him back? Let's focus on the things that matter, or why are you asking those questions? Let's get to the heart of the matter. Why can't you be alone? That's the sort of questions I want to be answering for you. I feel very calm. And I'm ready to allow any answers that want to come through. Spirit guides use me to communicate. I shine a ball of white, bright light around me. Which direction should I take my career? Finish. I take this away from me. something very interesting happened during that. Now, I went into this experiment believing that I needed to do this to get more connected to my subconscious. I still do believe that. I think that's a key part of what this practice is and means. But the minute I started writing, I knew that I wasn't speaking from myself. I was expecting to be writing things like, I should do this, I can do this, therefore I should focus on this. Like, I thought it was going to be affirmation after affirmation, or me just, speaking from perspective of Ellie. But the minute I started writing, it was coming from the voice of someone else. I mean, this writing is really hard to read. It doesn't even look like my writing. Like, my writing is at the top here, and then as you can see here, it's very messy. And things like you should, you have, I am, and then referring to something that wasn't me, like it sounded like it's coming from someone else. Another thing, I was expecting to not do this so easily. I was expecting to write maybe one word or two, as a lot of things I've looked up online has said that it takes a while to get into it. But you'll see in the footage, I immediately start writing, and the crazy thing is my arm got not only achy immediately, but it just sort of it felt disconnected from my body. It feels fine now, literally feels like my own arm, but in that moment in time, it didn't. And the weird thing was, when I needed to turn the page over, it was like the hand was just waiting, like, and then I was like, and then the hand was like. Now, what I will say, take what you want from this video. I'm not trying to prove a point. I'm not making you believe anything or in anything. I'm telling you how I felt. I didn't go into this experiment thinking that I could potentially be connecting to a spirit or something. I wanted to, if anything, connect to my subconscious. And whether or not I have connected to my subconscious in this writing that I'm about to read to you, or whether I connected to a spirit, it's still results I was hoping for. I was still hoping for a bunch of writing that I could read over, which I haven't read yet because I wasn't focused. Well, there's some parts I do remember writing down, but for the majority of this, I was not focused at all. I was just letting my hand go nuts, and it did. Very, very quickly too. And as soon as I began meditating, I could feel like I was almost ready like that, which is something I'm kind of glad about, because meditating isn't something that I've mastered quite yet. So I always feel like sometimes I could sit there for an hour and not be properly in the zone, because I never really know what the zone is. But I felt like this time I was just there. This did not answer my question. I feel like my intentions weren't hard enough, strong enough, or clear enough, or something, because I read somewhere that it's easy to do channel writing that just is here, there, everywhere, doesn't make sense, isn't focused, isn't anything to do with a question or why you started writing in the first place. So sometimes you have to rein it back in. And I did try to at one point. You might have seen me stop and ask the question again. Well, that's why I felt like this was just waffle from something that I was picking up on. I'm weirdly nervous about this, but it's also exciting because it's like receiving a letter from the inner part of your brain, or from like potentially someone in this room, or history about this flat, or like a spirit guide, an angel, who knows. Read the best. Don't age. It's literally happening around her. Don't age. It's literally happening around her. This is why I knew I wasn't talking about myself, because I used the word her. It's literally happening around her. What, the direction of the career I should take? The hair isn't always often to the best places. Or open to the best places. The hair isn't always open to the best places. And mind. See, there's spelling mistakes and stuff. Like, some of the stuff, they aren't even words. Like this, for instance. Is that finally? If you have never been to the best foundation in the planet, then there's a way to find that in yourself. Ooh. This is the kind of stuff I wanted this experiment to work for. I want to discover really interesting, intricate quotes and sentences that I couldn't have said myself. Like, how cool would it be to write mantras that are so perfect for yourself because they came from within or from your spirit guides? Oh God, I need to work on writing Nita when I do this, if that's even possible. You have all the seeing and reports. You have all the seeings and reports acquired. Any hands holding have long, faster hope in the end. I was warned that a lot of stuff won't make much sense. Oh, in the end, don't even worry about the end result because it doesn't mean anything. I'll be like, Mum, look, the guides told me it's fine. 2, or is a number 2 here? I don't remember writing number 2. Can you see that down there? I have heard that channel writing is supposed to be particularly good for numbers, number works. If you want to know what the lottery numbers are, you know, if you want to know birth dates or like significant dates, timing for things, to look out for the best in others and it don't go further than that. This is so creepy to read because I don't remember these words making sentences when I was writing them. Is this connected to my question though? Which direction should I take my career? Well, Ellie, to look out for the best in others and it don't go further than that. It is not the telling, but the doing. Okay. It has all but nothing to do with the loss of value and equal necessity. I'm gonna have to type this stuff up to like try and make sense of it. Lose but don't lack. Ooh. Enjoy the process and lack in luster. What does luster mean? See, it's using words that I do not use. I'm so fascinated by this. These things weren't crossing my mind when I was writing this. Can I just put that out there? Eat the wonders of the world and laugh in the bubbles of time. This is the cutest thing I've ever read. I'm writing a book with whoever that was that wants to write it with me. Have a joyous moment in the creations because no one else will do them for you. If you don't have a way with words, then words will have a way with you. If anyone wants to let me know what they think that might mean, feel free. All of this, feel free to let me know what you think. Work is oh, here we go. We're getting back on topic a little bit, perhaps. Work is a place to be admired, not to die at the hands of someone else's fortune. Have a place in your heart to have a place in your honor. Oh, I've got a question here. Do you like the places that you roam? It's about where you are and not what you do. I have many places. See, look. I have many places. This is coming from someone else. I strongly feel that I does not belong to me. I have many places to be, but here is a very inventory one for yourself and whatever you make of it. Inventory. No, it's not what you do, it's where you are, what you have, and what you make of it is what I'm picking up from that. A player in the world is forgetting the accuracy. A player in the world is forgetting the accuracy of time. Being young is a key benefit, and I don't have that, as you do. Oh, okay, we're talking about time as in getting older. Ooh. She's like, time's a ticking. You've got life. Make something of it. Interesting how there's reference to a player in the world. Is that the way Spirit sees us? We're like players to some sort of game. What is amazing is the idea, I don't even remember writing the word amazing down. What is amazing is the idea of being a person on the world we see as a realm. I remember years ago, me and my mum, I believe, we were doing a Ouija board. I was the scribe writing down things that were coming up on the board. And I remember spirit guides would reference realm and sphere a lot when talking about the world. Don't lose hold of who you are and what that means. I am someone who helped others but not myself. So this part, I specifically remember getting a bit wild because it didn't start making sense. I felt like this is when I either lost connection or I had nothing else to write down. Something here happened a bit weird because it does not being a lied and dear. It just started not making any sense, especially as the next sentence began, because then we've got, "Dear Simon, Simon, help me. Little girl, you are very good to me, but be better and do better. Everything you do is with purpose and love. The Voin, the help, and harbour." Like the dear Simon. I don't know a single Simon. I was watching Tinder Swindler last night and that was a Simon, so I'm not disregarding the fact there could be a Simon stuck in my subconsciousness somewhere. I'm not going to completely play dumb and say, "Oh, Simon, haven't heard that word in years." But like to randomly start saying, "Dear Simon, Simon, help me. Little girl, you are very good to me. The Voin, the help, the harbour," like it just starts getting a bit weird. And then a very interesting thing happened here because I watched my hand then write, "I have nothing better else to say," full stop, a big full stop too, and then or two, it maybe started saying something else, like "I have nothing better else to say or to write," perhaps it was going to say, but my hand just went like dead. It just stopped. I just stopped flowing, and that's the best way to describe how you feel when you try this. You just start flowing, things just come out. You don't know where they're coming from, but it just starts happening. And then when it stops happening, like for instance at the end of that sentence, "I have nothing better else to say," you know, I didn't go into that sentence knowing that I was about to stop this writing and finish writing. I just wrote the sentence out and then my hand just also happened to go very still. I didn't have a nice flow in my hand anymore. That just very easily started at the beginning of this question. And then to kind of represent that I was at the end and there was nothing else to write, I just put a little line at the bottom there. Do I feel like my question got answered? Yes. Vaguely. Specifically, no. But do I feel like this experiment was successful? Absolutely yes. I got way more out of it than I thought I was going to. And I'm excited to carry on doing this with like multiple things and directions in my life in general where I need some guidance. Maybe I can write up some really interesting things to post online for people to have access to. Like I would love to be some sort of channel for people to heal themselves or work on themselves. As I say, I'm not trying to prove anything to you. We're all trying to figure out life and what it is and what it means. I am just trying to work it out alongside you guys. Maybe give this a go yourself if you want to understand where I'm coming from, and perhaps you can feel in the same position as I do now, which is, holy crap, there's a lot more knowledge available out there that we can access, which is a lot bigger than who we are and what we know. Today has just made me thirsty for more. Okay, Macaulay Culkin. Like all in all, I'm excited to let this guide me. You know, think of more questions, think of stuff that I've wanted to know for a long time. And if I was to carry on with this, which I know I will, Let me know if you want updates, if you want to know how this goes, what sort of stuff I discover and pick up. And I think the coolest thing about today was reading pieces of information that I didn't know myself. Like, I was aware that I was writing down the word and then I knew I was writing down the word life, but then I didn't really know what those words were meaning together as a structured sentence. So it was freaky to then read what I wrote and realized it actually made somewhat sense. Like, it actually strung together a sentence. And not only that, a really cool sentence, like a sentence that I would want to think about deeper, and I could feel a presence in my head, or like a presence perhaps in the room, or a connection just disappearing, in the same way as when you're on the phone to someone and suddenly it sounds a little bit dead and there isn't any like room noise anymore. Even though they might just be silent on the phone, you can tell that they're actually not there. They've hung up or something's wrong with the line, because it just sounds slightly different as it would if they were just sat there listening. Yeah, I'm intrigued to know if any of you guys have ever practiced with this before, and if you have, then what did you discover? Why do you use it? How do you find it? How do you personally develop on it? Like, what is your ritual? What is your practice? I'm very intrigued to know. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like this kind of content, do make sure you subscribe to my channel to be notified every time I make a brand new video. I'm on social media such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I have a tarot reading Instagram and a tarot reading Facebook page. So if you want to join me on any of those, then I'll leave a link down there in the video description. Thanks guys, and I will see you very soon. Bye!